I came from the mud, there's dirt on my hands. Strong like a tree, there's roots where I stand. Oh, I've been running from the law. Hope they won't shoot me down soon. They sing on a sleepless night. Try to catch me howling at the moon.
David Lancaster, it is a pleasure to travel all those miles north up here to Lyons, Indiana for the third event of the season. Wasn't necessarily the third on the schedule, but it's the third race we're getting to contest this year. And you know, we're in the heartland of America, David, and this is where true Americana exists. If nowhere else in the world, it definitely exists here.
It is, Mitch, and it's exactly what we stand for here in the Southeast Gassers.
And you said in the driver's meeting this morning, David, that a person had come up to you and really prompted a thought. What was that?
Well, he said this was a place that he knew that he could bring his children and his grandchildren and to raise them up around people with the same core beliefs that what he has about America, standing for the flag, praying, you know, and supporting our troops and everything that we've all been brought up to do. You know, in this world today, so many different thoughts and things are perpetuating the media. He said, I knew that, and I felt that the first time I come to a Southeast Gasser race. And he said, I knew I had to be more involved.
And you went on to say in a driver's meeting about the fact that we still pray and we still say the Pledge of Allegiance, and we're still proud to be Americans.
That's exactly right.
And you turned around and told Quayne, you know, never compromise on that. Right. And ladies and gentlemen, that is our core values. We want to make sure that America knows that the Southeast Gassers Association is just that. We're proud of America. We're proud of all of America's history, the good and the bad, because it formed us into what we are, and we are a God-blessed nation. David, you know, we've got another excellent racer that has had to take some time out from traveling with us, you know, Tim Bailey, and he's doing it based again on American Christian values. He's got some elderly parents that was more important than racing. What comments or thoughts do you have on that, Dave?
Well, I talked to Tim this week, and I called him just to offer my prayers for he and his parents and for what he's going through. And he, you know, if you know Tim, he immediately said that his sisters and his brothers and his boys were doing a great job helping him. He didn't want any of the accolades, just as he does here. A man that's been with us since day one. Yes. And it's hard not to see Tim and sit down and talk with him here, but he's doing what he was raised to do, and what we're all raised to do is care for our parents, just like it says, honor thy mother and father in the Bible, and that's what Tim Bailey is doing. That's the kind of man we have in the Southeast Gas.
Well, you know, you said that's the man we have. I want to say we got a lot of men like that in this, and women. And, you know, he is doing what we would expect him to do. And so fans, spectators, if you're missing Tim Bailey, and we know you are, we can't say how much longer it'll be before he gets to come back and join us. We just know that he will. And all we can say is pray with us that God take over in his life and his parents' lives. David, you know, we've got a new addition to the Southeast Gassers production company, and this is a lady who's going to help us do some of the pit interviews and things. And I've been interviewed by women in my past racing career, and quite frankly, I think they've done some of the best, if not the best jobs. So I've got big expectations for Samantha Smoke. Samantha, step on in here just a second. I want to introduce you.
How are you doing?
Samantha Smoke, ladies and gentlemen, Samantha Smoke. Samantha's going to begin doing pit interviews for us. Samantha, you know, we're looking forward to you. I think that you're going to bring a lot to it, and, you know, what's your thought?
I'm excited. I love the Southeast Gassers. We've been with you guys for 4 years, so I'm really excited to help out in this capacity.
Well, you're standing above David and I looking down on us, so you should have a bird's eye view of everything going on out here. All jokes aside, Samantha is a lovely lady. We are just in high hopes that she does a great job. In a roundabout way, she's going to be auditioning today, but I fully expect she's going to do superb. Samantha, it is a great pleasure to add you to the list. We look forward to years to come. We know you're going to make it better. So, boys, ladies, and gentlemen, it's time to go drag racing. Let's get out of the way and get it done. Thank you once again for joining in, and we hope you look forward and enjoy the show. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Wagler Motorsports Park in Lyons, Indiana. We're getting a look at that Superstock qualifying ladder with Rick Varner, the dirt man, sitting at the top spot. Remember, this is round one of eliminations in all categories for this particular video release. For second round through the finals, please check in on our next video release coming out shortly from Lyons, Indiana. Our first pair is Rick Cathcart and Tommy Luther. This is a rematch from the past race in Mooresville, North Carolina, where Rick Cathcart took the victory in the final round. Certainly not the first round where they've met up this time. This is an opportunity for Tommy to pay it back, but it didn't happen. Rick Cathcart in that Ford, too much for the Chevrolet. Mark Hackett coming up in that Mercury Poison in a head-to-head battle with Houston Neese. Houston, a relative newcomer to the Southeast Gassers Association competition, but no newcomer to drag racing in general. Mark Hackett, past race winner, number 2 finisher in the points last year. He has a jump on Houston, and it looks like it's going to be Mark Hackett all the way. The third pairing in Superstock featuring Zach Long and Brian Olds in that beautiful Gold Dust Plymouth Barracuda. Zach Long in the big long Plymouth wagon. The Gold Dust Barracuda backing up after that good long burnout. Maybe he's got them good and hot, ready to hook up. Zach Long been with us for a couple of years. Brian Olds, I believe this be his first year in competition. Slight wheels up off of the line for Brian, and walking away from my viewpoint right here on the top end, it is all Brian Olds. There's a lot to be said for the gentleman sitting in the left lane in this big Plymouth wagon. That is none other than Robert Peffley, basically the founder of the Superstock and the Southeast Gassers Association 2019 Superstock champion, and also a multi-race winner, taking on Paul Bonenkemper in that Biscayne, and it looks like it's going to be Robert Peffley all the way. Next pairing features Matt Avonik in that historic Warhorse 65 Mustang, I believe it is. That Mustang is as originally raced back in the 60s and is still out here in Superstock doing it today. Been kind of passed down through the family. He is matched up with Dale Morton in the Lucille 57 Ford. Dale having varied success over the last couple of years, but yet to conquer that race win in Superstock. Up last and final round, or final pairing in the first round, which is a bye run for Rick Varner, the dirt man. That big Chevy Impala right there, ladies and gentlemen, number 1 qualifier with a fairly healthy margin. We have yet to see a Chevrolet win in Superstock, but it is just around the corner. It cannot be far with the performance of this car, as well as the other car that is owned by Rick Varner, and that is the one driven by Tommy Luther. Seagas, round number 1 coming up, presented by One Way Technologies. Southeast Gassers Association is honored to have a company like One Way Technologies take notice not only of our racers, but of our racers' race car. Chris Grace, my friend, thank you guys so much for taking notice of the Southeast Gassers Association. And, tell me, what are you finding here? Has Southeast Gassers Association been beneficial to One Way Technologies?
Well, Mitch, the family aspect of Southeast Gassers is just so near and dear to our heart. We've loved the interaction with your racers, Quayne, the family. Everybody that comes to this event knows that this is a family-style, God-fearing establishment. So we have gone leaps and bounds with our product. We designed our new cylinder head to go with the sanctioning rules of this organization, and we're seeing great results from it.
Is that a small block Chevrolet head, a big block Chevrolet head? What do you got here?
It's a small block Chevrolet cylinder head. We know that that's the most common engine ran in this series. We went after the one that would be most popular. I've got guys coming up on Ford, Mopar, just because they're seeing how well our stuff's running in the small block Chevrolet.
Detail. What is some of the special things about this new head?
Well, with this head, we called it a 10 SRI to designate for the Sega series. This has a pushed-in spark plug to allow us to get better combustion and have a unshrouded intake valve as our primary focus on this cylinder head.
Is this production ready?
Absolutely. We have it on several cars that are running it today. They've been running it for a while, and we're seeing great results.
And I know that One Way Technologies is a very successful company with a historic history behind it, not to mention its founder. You know, when you talk about a guy with that kind of history, you know, anything that comes forth afterwards has got to be great, and there's no doubt it has been.
Absolutely. We owe Sam Jones everything. We here at One Way Technologies invite you to contact us for all of your high-performance cylinder head needs.
Yes, sir, Chris. We thank you and Sam and Jeff Jones and all of the crew there at One Way Technologies for all you have done for the Southeast Gassers Association. Getting a look at the C-Gas category qualifying ladder, and first up is going to be Cynthia Phillips and Ernie Smith. Cynthia and the Flower Power being directed by Tom White. Getting ready to start them smoky digs. Here we go. This again is C-Gas round number 1. Small block, ultra small block in that hot rod of Cynthia Phillips and the Flower Power. Tom and Pam Burrell leaving the starting line where they're yanking and a jerking, and it looks like it's going to be Cynthia all the way. Time to head her back home, Ernie. You have been given an early dismissal slip, much to the joy of Tom White and the crew of that Flower Power Chevrolet. Up next, Odd Rod Pick-em-up truck, campaigned by Kevin Shaw and the Penny Pincher 57 Chevrolet, driven by John Gillian. John Gillian, the winner at last year's event in Lyons, Indiana, if I'm not mistaken. I know he's won one of these things. I can't keep up with him, ladies and gentlemen. Kevin Shaw, been with us for about a year now. I think this is his second season. The same with John. Which one's going to advance to the second round of C-Gas competition? Nobody knows till they cross the finish line. And here they come, very tight. It is indeed, but it's going to be Kevin Shaw. Next pairing, going to be the aforementioned Jeff Jones of One Way Head Technologies, and a newcomer coming in here now, Gary Millandantri, the Northeast Assassin. If that steed of Millandantri looks familiar, that is Larry Noel's car that he campaigned last year, that 56 Chevrolet that he won the championship in nonetheless, in C-Gas category. Let's just see if the Northeast Assassin can do anything with it, but he has got one tough hombre in Jeff Jones in the left lane over there. This is going to be a challenge for Mr. Millandantri, regardless of what kind of power he's got under the hood. Millandantri having issues staging that car. That may be something to that greenhorn thing. We'd never know. The Pro Tree is an elusive rascal until you get her right. Next pairing, Todd Oden, Mr. King Kong himself, Double X, taking on one of the most beautifully prepared C-Gas hot rods in the land, Steve Bright and the Carolina Flash. Just get a look at that beautiful orange and white hot rod. I tell you what, they don't get much more authentic than that. Now, Todd Oden, past race winner multiple times, past champion. This guy has done a little bit of everything. Steve Bright has taken on King Kong, and he is going to have a job to do if he can carry it out. Coming across the finish line, Steve Bright, you might not have win it, buddy, but that was close enough to be considered good when you're running that kind of a guy in Todd Oden. Next C-Gas pairing going to pit George Miller in the Falcon Crazy. You guessed it, Falcon, taking on Scott Wallace in the Indian Express. That's not one you see out here. These old Chevrolets and Fords, you don't see too many of the Pontiacs, but here you go, Pontiac fans. Who is going to take it out? Neither car really excelling off the starting line. Both of them having a little bit of traction problems, it looked like. Coming up to the stripe, here we go, George Miller taking it home. The aforementioned Larry Noel Trading in that 56 Steed for one year older, a 55, sporting both the same paint jobs. Larry and his lovely wife Sandy applying the paint on these two cars in that beautiful lace old-time style. Larry getting a little bit of coaching from a crew hand there, maybe track official, not sure which one that was, but there you see Larry Noel, last year's Seagas champion. He's not exactly had the greatest success this year, but there's Sandy telling him, come on, baby, let's put this one in the books. Taking on Dana Castro and tattooing him to the starting line. Larry Noel all the way start to finish. Dwight McGuire in the authentic and original Steel Lady taking on Charlie Lee, Tennessee Charlie in that Chevrolet-powered Ford Mustang. If you're Dwight McGuire, the last person you want to take on in the first round is Charlie Lee. This guy is holy terror. Him and his father built some awesome engines for the Seagas competition, and he has just left Dwight in the back room. I'm here to tell you, Dwight McGuire will have to try again on another day. The last Seagas to take to the racetrack in round one of eliminations is number one qualifier Tim Hall in the Scalded Dog Rambler Chevy powered. Is going to take it easy. That'll round out Seagas round number one as we prepare for B-Gas round number one competition in the most heavily contested category the Sega has to offer. Presented by Rod and Style, never compromise. Take a look at that ladder sheet right there for B-Gas competition. You'll see there's 2 rows because of the sheer number of entrants. B-Gas round number one getting underway with Shakin' Bacon and Sour Grape. Troy Leitner in the Shakin' Bacon and Art Beeler in the Sour Grape. Troy Leitner been super fast of late with a new engine program under that hot rod Henry J. Art Beeler, the Sour Grape. The color on that baby doll makes you just want to go up and have a taste like a grape lollipop. I tell you, if it runs as good as it looks, it's going to be a tough round for Troy Leitner. Troy Leitner making a horrific mistake right there, ladies and gentlemen, letting the car roll the beam and then backing up. When he backed up, that actually activated the tree for Art Beeler, obviously disqualifying Troy until another day. Art on a pass just by himself. Kevin Burton in that Ry Burton Schroeder Chevy 2 second coming entry. This race car has got a lot of history to it, but talk about history. Danny Bird, the Junkyard Dog, elder statesman in the Southeast Gassers Association. This guy is in his 70s, still drag racing hard, and believe you me, he is normally the number one qualifier, if not in the very top, and he is bad to the bone with that Junkyard Dog. Kevin Burke got a job in front of him, but he just cannot overcome the power and the prowess of Danny Burke. Papa's Wild Willie's taking on the Patriot Daniel Haynes. Michael Walters, Papa's Wild Willie's, this old hot rod is just as cool as can be, and Michael been working on this machine. She's running faster, but he does have a problem in the Patriot, and that is Daniel Haynes got real serious about drag racing for 2020. Him and his wife, they put some money in his hot rod, went and had a super bad Ford engine built, and that is fixing to be on display right there. That thing leaving the starting line, dragging it down to the racetrack, and listen to him roll. Kelvin Cannon in the loose cannon taking on Colby Welch in the Moonbeam Ranchero wagon. Kelvin Cannon taking partnership with Rocky Platt. These guys have come together. The loose cannon running stronger than it ever has in years times past for 2020. However, Colby Welch, his sister, backing him up, pulling him into the staging beams over there. This is a family affair. His mother, his father, his sister, Colby, the whole crowd, they really put forth the effort, and it shows. That wagon gets a lot of spin on the starting line, but watch that second gear into this, pull the front end back up, and powers around Kelvin. Wayne Swalker. I don't know what you call that thing other than a red Chevy 2, red windows and all. Todd Rosenberry, the 2 bumpy Chevy 2. That thing has got one of the most gorgeous root beer paint jobs on it, but it should have. That man is a body shop owner extraordinaire. Got a 59 or 60 Cadillac you ought to see. Todd Rosenberg leaving, but he ain't got no match for Wayne Swafford. That red Chevy 2 is lethal. Mandy Blackwell pointing her father-in-law Mike Blackwell backwards into the staging beams after that good hot burnout in the Smoking Sam Chevy 2, taking on Sean McLemore and the Foul Bird. Sean in the staging beams. There he is waiting on Mike. Look at this shot right here. Let's see what Sean's going to do. I tell you, this racetrack is, you can see going ball right there. Sean, they leave it together, but Mike starts to take the early lead, pulling ahead. Maybe it's that Chevrolet power. If you like green, this is your man. Zach Hall, the homegrown 55 Chevrolet, taking on the Krypton 940 Studebaker of Art Copeland. This race was over pretty much on the starting line. Zach Hall leaving, I do believe, on Art and powering away. TJ York. Now this drag race right here had a unique circumstance come about, and for that I'm bringing in Mr. X, a commentator, to help us explain what's going on, and that is Brian Dalton setting double bumped into the stage beams. Mr. X, what's going on?
Yeah, that's right, Mitch. Brian Dalton here is double bump TJ York. It is NHRA legal to double bump someone, but it's also NHRA legal for that TJ York, being the competitor, not to accept that double bump situation. Bryant has went in again double bulb. He must be having a clutch issue. TJ still refuses to accept that double bulb situation. They're going to back Bryant back out, and then I think TJ here is going to maybe take the pre-stage first just to make sure it doesn't happen again, and he certainly does. They go in together, going in, see what happens with this round. And Bryant rolls through the beam. Like I said, he must be having a clutch trouble. TJ York on to the next round.
What TJ was trying to do there was to force Bryant into what's referred to as a courtesy stage. Courtesy stage being each driver puts on a pre-stage bump prior to any of the other ones going into the full stage flat. Now, James Beard, Obsolete 2, taking on Scott Butler and the Lil Varmint. James Beard, his father, I tell you what, you talk about a family operation. I love these guys to death. Obsolete 2. However, love and family and friends ain't got nothing to do with this drag race with the Lil Varmint just edging them right out. Ford versus Chevrolet Classic Battle. Jimmy Huff, the Hoopty Wagon. Lee Vickery, 55 Chevrolet Can Heat, smoking the highs. Which one's going to get the early dismissal slip and go home early? Elizabeth Phillips backing Lee Vickery up here into the starting beams. Jimmy Huff going red. Maybe he was worried about that Chevrolet horsepower. Who knows? Point is, Lee Vickery advancing on to round number 2, and Jimmy Huff going home early.
Adam Lowhorn and the Rod Slinger Falcon coming up against Jerry Birch and his Chevy 2. The Purple Haze, as him and his brother Joey like to refer to it. That Chevy 2's been around a long time, made a lot of rounds with us here at the Southeast Gassers. Adam Lowhorn, a good, confident, young driver, good reaction time. Good shot of Kaylee Smith pulling Adam Lowhorn into the staging beams there, guys. Y'all have no idea how critical that, and look at how it paid off. Adam Lowhorn with a good hole shot over Jerry Birch. Doesn't look like it paid off. Jerry Birch carries him through the finish line.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the final pair of B-Gas category competition for round number 1. Rick Varner, the Dirt Man, taking on Ray Fassel in that beautiful, gorgeously prepared, Speed and Culture sponsored Busting Loose Barracuda, as he proudly displays on the back, real race cars have 2 doors and 3 pedals. Ray moving cautiously into the stage beams. He has got a job to do here. Rick Varner, one tough hombre. Let me tell you, this should be a good drag race. Ray Fassel tearing this car up first race out last year, had some oil problems, went into the wall, friends and family fixed it back. He's now good looking as ever. Car is on the starting line, leaving too early, handing it over to Rick Varner, making Rick Varner's day. Ray got a loader onto the trailer. That rounds up round number 1 for B-Gas, folks. As I said before, we're ready now for A-Gas, presented by Speed and Culture, the kings of the Southeast Gassers Association. A-Gas, Alan Golden on the top, number 1 qualifying spot. Tasmanian Devil on the back of Gary Klein's 40s Ford Hot Rod. Get ready to do the Smoky Dig, taking on the one and only Steve Davis, Spinny 2. Let me tell you, Steve Davis been with us about 3 years, yet to capture that elusive A-Gas win. Gary Klein about maybe 4 to 5 years, yet to capture a win. Either one of these guys are new, but I gotta say this, Steve Davis' car is hooked up and running today, as evidenced by that starting line launch, and drug it through about 2 car lengths ahead of Gary.
Number 1 qualifier, Alan Golden, coming up against Gabriel Burl and his old Southern Flyer Falcon. Gabriel Burl is on a hunt to get the Ford engine back to the top step of the podium in A gas category. Good friend of ours, Robbie Bird, has stepped up to help Gabriel Burl put that Ford engine back on top. I don't know what they've got for a combination today. I do know Alan Galden is number one qualifier. He's throwing down some good numbers. Gabe has a little whole shot advantage. It looks like he's broke something. Alan's out of shape. Man, if Gabe could have stayed with it, that would have been a real good drag race, it looks like. Look how far out of the groove Alan was. If Gabe could have stayed in the horsepower of that Ford engine, he might could have made it to second round.
You are looking at the king of the Southeast Gassers Association A-gas category that I so dearly call the kings of the Southeast Gassers, and that is Kenneth Phillips, the Silver Streak 2 Corvette, taking on Sam Gable in that Moonshot 56 Chevrolet. Watching this car leave the starting line, you will think it is headed to the moon, wheels high. Neither one of these guys has rolled in yet. A little bit of time taking place. Kenneth Phillips, cool customers they come. They're both in. Who's going to get it? Again, the Moonshot pointed high in the front end, but to no avail. Shutting down early, but there again, so is Kenneth Phillips. Don't know what happened, but Kenneth's coasting through for the win.
Todd Blackwell letting that small block sing, heating up those tires coming across the start line, getting his groove set for this round against Leslie Horn in the 55 Chevrolet Chick Magnet. Both of these cars have made rounds at Southeast Gasser events. They've made late rounds at Southeast Gasser events. It looks like Todd's got a little bit of advantage over Leslie in the qualifying order. I don't know what kind of tune-up Leslie's got put in this machine trying to make it through first round. Don't know if he's got a good hold on this track or not yet. He has went way red, folks. He under pressure trying to get ahead of Todd Blackwell. He is left on his stage beam. When the pressure's on, sometimes the egg cracks, guys. And fortunately for Todd Blackwell, it did.
Dean Jonas in the Agent Orange Chevy 2, getting them hives hot, boys and girls. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a lot of big block power on the starting line here today. Both of these cars, big block engines. These machines can power down, pound the asphalt. Barry Lynn looking in, chucking that baby into low gear, getting it ready to do battle. They are in their stage. Here we go. Barry Lynn getting the jump. Dean having a little bit of traction issues. And I do believe from this vantage point, that was all she wrote. There it is. Barry Lynn taking the lead.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a treat for you. 6 and 7 qualifier Rob Walden, Todd Oden. Todd Oden, the former Seagas world champion. Rob Walden been with us just over a year now, showing out a big long burnout in that small 33 Willis for this big Lyons, Indiana crowd. Backing that machine up. Just look at that picture, folks. That's one for the ages. 6 and 7 qualifier. There is nothing but pressure on these two drivers. Both of them know they can win if they do the job properly. Leave high, leave low, you're out. Walden swapping feet at the perfect time. The Amber's on, car gone. Front tires in the air, second and third gear, pulling that big 57 Chevrolet all the way to the finish line.
That will finish up all of round 1 eliminations. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for sticking around and watching. Be sure to check out round number 2 through the finals in our next segment of YouTube videos. Mr. X, our secret man in the studio with us today, the first non-racer, non-Sega official that can name on YouTube Mr. X. The first person that can give the name of Mr. X can get a free t-shirt of their choice and size. Thank you once again for tuning in, and please let us know as fast as possible who that mystery man is.
I came from the mud, there's dirt on my hands. Strong like a tree, there's roots where I stand. Oh, I've been running from the law. Hope they won't shoot me down soon. They've been gone a sleepless night. Try to catch me howling at the moon.